Hello, welcome back to the fish locker out on the rocks at night. Now, this isn't the first time I've done a video at night, or the first time I've covered the rocks at night. This is the first time I've done a video on the rocks at night with a little UV light. Now, we have some fantastic tides at the moment, massive tides, and as you can maybe tell, there isn't a breath of wind. It's absolutely perfect conditions. So hopefully we will be able to find something like a crab or a lobster, anything like that. And I'm also going to be looking around with my UV light. I'm going off the recommendation of one of my subscribers to give it a try. I've seen pictures and I've seen people do it before. It's the first time that I've done it in a video, so we'll see how it works out. You will notice that I have got my life jacket on. That is because I'm out on the rocks on my own at night. Now, another thing that I've done as well is, not only does my wife know that I'm here, what time I got here and what time am I going to leave, but also one of my friends does. Safety first. Let's go and have some fun. I'm trying to give you some type of an idea how calm it is here. Just the tiniest little ripple. We've still got another bit of the ebb to go, so hopefully when it goes off we'll be able to check underneath all this. One of the things that I did notice in this pool as I was walking backwards and forwards is there are a couple of Snakelocks Anemones, and under a UV light a Snakelocks Anemone just a simple UV light, look at the colours on them, aren't they incredible? There, look, in this pool is a blenny, see it? I wonder what this guy's going to be like under UV light. No change with the fish, but it's showing you a couple of anemones, isn't it? A couple of anemones that we couldn't even see that were there, now bright green, and little Mr. Fish just cutting about. He doesn't mind, does he? Oh, there's loads now. How stunning are they? There's a little prawn. Prawns growing back green as well. God, they are beautiful. There's a little prawn there for you to see. Stunning, aren't they? I don't know how much you can see here, but I've come to a deeper area, and there is a big spider crab. See it just hanging on the side of the weed? A big female spider crab. Oh, right, I don't know if you can see that under there, but I've just spotted, yep, I don't know how well you can see it, but there is an edible crab just up there. Now, I aren't going to be able to get it out and hold the camera at the same time, so I'm going to put the camera down and we'll try and get it out of there. But yeah, that's all I was doing, look. Just looking for a little crevice or a little hole. Right, I've managed to get it part way out with the spear. It's just a matter of it's pushed its legs and its claws out as hard as it can to the sides to make itself too big to fit through the gap. It's like trying to get a square peg through a round hole. Yeah, I got you. There we are. Only got one claw, like. But that's a perfect example of what I was saying. Just looking in a little hole. That's what there is in there. Now he's too small to keep, but I didn't realise that until I'd got him out of there. Have a look and see if there's anything else in that hole as well. No, I've had a good look up there and there's nothing else inside that hole. Just this guy. You can see it's a male because it's got a straight flap there. Just got a real narrow flap underneath. Shows it's a male. A female is, well, as wide as that whole pad. You can also tell by the size of the claw compared to the size of the body. But yeah, the brown edible crab, just not big enough. So I'll let him go back in his hole. I bet he'll go in an awful lot easier than what he came out. There, look there. Straight back in, no bother. Let's keep going and see what else we can find. You can see walking about on these little areas here, these are really slippy. Anything green is very slippy. You see, like that little edible crab there, all the little tiny all the little crevices and cracks is where all the crabs will be living. So this is where we're looking. We're still quite high up on the tide line, so I aren't expecting to find anything big up here. Oh, there's an edible crab down there. But when the tide goes out further down there, that's where I think we're going to find him. That lovely looking Snakelocks Anemone. Let's have a look at that with a UV light. Isn't that incredible? I think I'm just in love with it. And there's a little crab just living behind it. And I think that's called a Leach's spider crab. There was a friend of mine who was a diver that was telling me about them. And he says pretty much every time you find a Snakelocks Anemone, there will be a crab living next to it. Here is where a couple of things. This turns into that, which then grows into this. It's the 3 stages of thongweed. But hiding just halfway underneath this rock here is a lovely looking starfish. Let's see what that looks like actually under the UV light. I don't know if it's going to look any different or what, but we'll find out. No different. Still cold, but no different. I'll put him back wherever we found him. One of the giveaway signs when you're looking into places like that is sometimes you'll see like a red antenna, like a lobster's antenna sticking out. There's a little tiny crab hiding at the back of there. A little furrowed crab. There's a little velvet swimming crab. And there is, if you can see this fish that's doing its best to get away from me. This fish is called a Cornish sucker, and what they do is they've got a sucker pad underneath them. There, look. They've got a sucker pad underneath them so they can hang on to rocks like that. Cool, aren't they? I've tied my bucket to my bag so that I've got a hand free, and it keeps swinging around and batting me whenever I bend over. I think what I need is an assistant. I need someone to come with me to carry my bucket. Right, there's something that I haven't seen in ages. I haven't seen one of these in years. See if I can grab it real quick. Got it. That is a giant pipefish. You might have seen in some of the other spots where we've caught little tiny ones of these. Look at it, it's got a head just like a seahorse. Well, we catch little ones of these that are maybe only like that long. I'll get some water in this bucket so we can have a good look at it. Oh Christ, he's going to be out of that bucket in a second. Calm down, calm down. Right, there you go. Get a better look at it now. You can see the fin on its back. They're incredible creatures, them things. Now looking round in the pools, I'd literally just saw like a piece of seaweed like that. I mean, it looks, that's how similar it is to a piece of seaweed. Look at the piece of seaweed next to it. I'd literally just saw a little piece move like a snake. I thought, I know what that is. Right, that's interesting. That there is a crab. You see it? I think that's called a decorator crab. Let's put him in a bucket. Go and put him in bucket. Oh, there's a conger eel. Oh, look at that. Almost stepped on it. It's a corkwing wrasse. Now look. And there's a conger eel. Didn't even know, well, just must have been pretending, just thinking, oh, I'll just stay still and he won't see me. Yeah, corkwing wrasse and a conger eel. Come here, yo. You stay there next to that rock. Oh, that was something there. I just can't see for this thongweed. Oh, that's why it's another pipefish. There, look. That's why I couldn't see it, because I thought it was a piece of seaweed. Incredible, aren't they? Get it put in the bucket with the other one. Remember what colour this was when I first picked it up? It's gone stripy now. Whereas this one, if you can see on the sides of it, it's carrying its eggs underneath. And it's got like I hope you can see the real vivid stripes on the sides. That is stunning. You can see how it's carrying all the eggs. We'll just take a second to have a look at what we've found in our bucket. First thing I'm going to have a look at, this very chunky corkwing wrasse. Let it go in this pool here. It goes. These pipefish, compared to a piece of this seaweed, they could just be the exact same, aren't they? Now, I aren't 100% sure on the type of pipefish this one is, but I know that one is a greater pipefish, and this is a type of sea slug. It's a nudibranch, and you can't see it because it's tucked it in, but right there on top of it there was a little like crown of white. I think it's called a hedgehog sea slug. I will get the name for that. Yeah, so the first one out is the greater pipefish. See how its main fin is its dorsal fin. Another little pipefish. And the master of disguise, the little decorator crab. You see how he's got little bits of seaweed stuck on all of his legs? You would just think that was a piece of seaweed, wouldn't you? Ooh, that's a bit deeper than I thought it was going to be. That is a perfect hole there. That's what you're looking for, like a little cave like that. There is a lobster right at the back of it. I can see the lobster right at the very back of the cave. See if I can get the GoPro in there to show you. I don't know if you can see it. I can just see it. Just to say see it. Right, let's see what we can do about that. I'm going to see if I can get that lobster out of that cave there. I would normally try and put the camera up to be able to show you, but I'm going to run out of light on me camera lamp. Hopefully in a minute I'll be able to show you a lobster. Right, well, I aren't going to tell you it was easy, because it really wasn't. And I'm soaking wet all down one side. It took me an absolute age to get. I had to get my second light out there, but there she is. All I did, like I say, I just used my spear and I put it in there and let her get hold of it. Oh, calm down, love. There she is. Right, no eggs in these tail fans here. Usually in this one or this one, what there is there's something called a V-notching scheme, and if a fisheries officer or even a fisherman catches a female lobster that is carrying eggs, and they carry them under there, if they catch one that's carrying eggs, sometimes what they do is they will cut a V into one of those tail notches there, and that marks it as being a breeding female, and they are protected by law, so that there is that means that there's a breeding stock always there at any point in time. Now I'm going to measure her there. She might just be on legal size, but I tell you what, that was some effort getting her out of there then. Don't move. She's a beauty, isn't she? Came out of that little hole down there. Now you see, each one of these little legs has got like a little Try to be careful of these claws. Each one of these legs has got like a little grabbing finger on, look. And if you notice these claws, she's got two different ones. This one is a smaller one with like a serrated edge, and this one is a stronger one. So it's a cutter and a crusher. So with this one she'll get hold of like some prey, like another crab or a fish or something, and with this one she'll come in and cut it up. These white marks that you can see on the side of here, and they're on a tail there, that is actually an animal called a keel worm, and it's a little worm that creates a calcium shell around itself. Now it doesn't really do any harm to them, and when she comes to shed her shell she'll lose them. Now she is, as you can probably see, her shell is nice and hard. She is probably due to peel pretty soon. I'm in two minds about taking her. In fact, what I might do is I might cut a V-notch in her tail to protect her, and we'll go and let her go. Legal size in my area is 90mm from there to there. Yeah, look. Back of the eye socket to the back of the carapace. She is both sides 96mm. So 6mm over legal landing size. This bright blue seaweed is incredible. No mistaking them once you've found them, is there? I don't know how well this colour is going to show up on the camera, but it is like a psychedelic blue and green, this seaweed. She's a beauty. Lovely looking anemones there, aren't they? See the prawn glowing back green? Incredible. That guy has stolen the show for me. Patches of that bright blue seaweed everywhere. Right, tide's starting to flood in now. And we've what a fantastic find. We'll start heading back, and no session would be complete without a dogfish. There is a dogfish egg case. See how it's lashed itself down with these little tendrils? That yellow bit in there is the embryo. I think I'm going to head down here a bit. There's less seaweed down here, so there's less chance of me slipping on my bum. I have been thinking long and hard about Mrs. Lobster, and a lot of people have asked me on previous videos when I've talked about the bylaws in our local area about V-notched lobsters. And what that is lobsters, female lobsters that are carrying eggs, they are sometimes marked with a V which is cut into one of their tail flaps. A V-notched lobster is then protected by law. The reason that they do that is so that there is a breeding stock on the ground. Now that lobster there, I'll show you where. I know that she is about to peel. They breed just as they've peeled. The reason I know she's about to peel is because these white marks on her, they're peeling now at the moment. This is the time of year when they peel, and those white marks on the side show that she hasn't peeled for a while, probably a year or two, so she's due to peel now. You can also tell because she's hard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to V-notch this lobster to show you what a V-notch is. Not only will it show you what it is and explain it to you, but that will protect this lobster for possibly 4 or 5 years. So she will be able to continue to breed for 4 or 5 years without any risk of someone taking her. And what you need to do is, calm down girl, either this tail fan or that tail fan. Never ever V-notch the central one, because that holds its central nervous system. So you cut a V into those two. So I'm going to take my little scissors now and I'm going to cut a V into there. I wouldn't recommend doing this unless you know what you're doing. I used to be a fisheries officer, so I've V-notched thousands of lobsters before. I'll cut a V into these now and then I'll show you it afterwards. I will show you as I'm cutting it, but I can't hold the camera and do it at the same time. There you'll see now where there is a perfect V cut in those. That means now that she'll be protected until they grow out. Now it's no different than really having your fingernails cut. It's a hard exoskeleton. There's no feeling in the exoskeleton. Now we'll take her down off the end of there and let her go. Right, there she is. One last look at them. Calm down girl. There they are, look. There she goes. I don't know if you can still see her there crawling around on the bottom now. But there we go. A good deed for the day. Well, I hope this has been interesting for you. I hope you've enjoyed joining me for a walk on the rocks. I've loved it. It's been really interesting. I see quite a lot of stuff on a night that you don't see during the day just because it's usually hiding. But and that UV light as well, like the prawns and the anemones, it was fantastic. I love that. I hope the video shows it properly. I took a couple of photos as well. If there's any good photos, I'll put them in here. But yeah, found a couple of nice crabs. Found a cracking lobster. Really took some effort getting it out there. I almost kind of thought at the time, I just thought she'd put up that good a fight. Anyway, I think that although we love eating lobster, as I'd been thinking about it, and as it's two birds with one stone, I get to perfectly illustrate the conservation measures that we have in our area, being the V-notched lobsters, by showing you V-notching a lobster, what to look for and what it means. Because I've had a lot of people, I've mentioned it in half a dozen of my videos, and a lot of people have been asking me, well, what is the V-notching scheme? Well, that is what it is. Lobsters sometimes are marked with a V on their tail, and that protects them by law, so that we have a breeding stock on the ground that can't be caught and landed. So that lobster that we saw tonight that I've V-notched, that one there, as it sheds its shell every couple of years, then the V-notches will grow out. But it means that probably for the next 4 years that lobster will be protected and will be able to breed. I consider that a win. I hope this has been interesting for you, and let me know what you think. See you later.